I'm going to be talking to those who are creating content. Can you take a break? Is that something that you can and should do throughout the time where you're actually putting content out? So I want to talk about something very, very important that's not really along with a lot of things that I talk about in terms of like what to do on social media, what to do with content marketing, what to do with video content and all that sort of thing. This is a little bit more philosophical for you and something that I know a lot of people struggle with but need to hear this in order to actually do something about it, is taking a break from social media, taking a break from YouTube, from podcasting, and not just consumption-wise, but creation-wise. If you're listening right now, if you're subscribed to my channel, if you haven't already, make sure you have subscribed. But if you have watched any of my videos, more than likely you are creating content in some way, shape, or form, and of course, always consuming it. But I'm going to be talking to those who are creating content. Can you take a break? Is that something that you can and should do throughout the time where you're actually putting content out? Whether that's social media posts, whether that's YouTube videos, whether that's podcasts, this is going to apply to you. Now, in the past couple weeks, you may have noticed, if you're subscribed to my channel, that I've kind of skipped 1 or 2 days here and there throughout the weeks. Well, now I've had a very busy spring this year, and I wanted to go hard at YouTube, but I definitely didn't want to overtake some of the things that I had to do on a personal basis. And as you're kind of getting started, especially with me, I'm doing 5 videos a week plus the podcast, which is 6 videos total a week on YouTube. I had to make sure that I had grounds about myself and made sure I took it at my own pace, right? So that I didn't get exhausted of it, burned out, and then just not create content. So here's the thing. Is it okay to take a break? And I know a lot of people will ask the question, is it okay because I'm not being consistent? Is it okay in terms of like I'm burned out and I just need a break? So here's the short answer is yes, it's absolutely okay to take breaks. Whether that's 1 week, whether that's 1 month, or whether that's, just 1 day, it doesn't matter what it is. You definitely need to make sure you're taking a break. There's multiple reasons why you should do this, and kind of on the surface level from a mindset, self-development type perspective, you just gotta make sure you're prioritizing things the way you should be, right? So if you're somebody like myself where you're not a full-time content creator, as in like your full-time job is not YouTube or podcast hosting, you have an actual business behind you, you have an actual service or product that you're actually running and making money, and that's your core income. Well, sometimes the content creation will take away from your core business, and you just can't do that. I've actually had 2 clients of mine take a break from working with us and our services because their real estate business was slipping from them in some capacity because they were so focused on their education business or the content creation side of their business that their real estate business, the actual like doing deals and getting deals done, was slipping away from them here and there. And so they had to divert their focus back to the actual core business. And so that's obviously a scenario that, hey, if your business is slipping away from you, if there's like fulfillment failures or breaks in the systems, breaks in the people that are on your team, or things are failing, you're losing clients, you're losing deals, take a break from creating content and go focus on that core business. Because if you don't have that core business, if you're not successful in that, then you shouldn't be creating content about that business in the first place. This is something I've gone through multiple times where I've actually taken a break and putting out some videos or putting social media up or doing a podcast because I had to go back into my business and make sure that my business was running on all cylinders because some things were broken, right? And so I took that break in order to go make sure and aid and make sure that that was taken care of. And so I know a lot of people, as you get into it, there's a lot of people out there that actually make money as an educator. I know several friends of mine that are actual full-time educators, and that's what they do is content creation, and their business is on full autopilot, like they are not needed in it whatsoever. But if you're somebody like me, that I've definitely pulled myself out of daily operations, but I am still the head honcho when it comes to the core business, then you just got to make sure that you are willing to take a break if you need to, but then also have the motivation to jump back in and start creating content again, because obviously consistency is a really big factor inside of all of this that we're talking about. Another reason why taking a break might be a good idea for you is because sometimes you just need to reset some of the goals that you have and some of the things that you're doing content creation wise. For instance, if you want to take a break because you want to divert your attention towards another brand or another topic that you want to talk about, well, take that break, create your game plan, gather yourself, and then go hard at that new game plan that you've created. But it is okay to take a break because of those reasons, because you don't want to just keep pouring fuel on a fire that may be actually going out, or it's something where you don't want to divert your attention that way. Take for instance from me, I in a previous life was doing branding. Branding was a big part of what our core business was. It was our core business for many years. We actually designed over 200 brands for real estate companies. And as time went on, I actually found that content creation was definitely our core niche and something I wanted to go deeper into and get away from branding. And so I had to literally take a break, hop off the train for just a while. I think I took a break for 6 months on not creating any content about branding so that I could make sure that I was really, really good at content marketing and I had the grounds to be able to talk about that. Then I started creating content about content marketing and social media, video content, etc., the things that I talk about today. And so that's a really good example of making sure that, hey, if you have a readjustment, if you have a diversion or something that you want to divert your attention towards in terms of a product, a service, or a brand, then take that break so that you can gather your thoughts, create a game plan, and go hard at that new branding or that new service, product, etc. Next is something that we all know. It's really good for our health to take a break from social media every once in a while. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, you're a A-type personality like myself and many of my clients, it can get really, really easy to get sucked into the vanity game, the vanity metrics that you see. Oh, X, Y, and Z, John Doe has 599,000 followers on Instagram, or Jane has over 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. Why does she have that, but I don't have that, right? It can get very easy to get sucked into that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, I'm not saying those aren't numbers you want to focus on. You need to focus on those. You need to look at those and analyze that on a consistent basis. But at the end of the day, it can get very easy and almost stressful and then depressing for you to get sucked into those numbers and then focus on those, and you're not reaching those numbers, you're not sure why, and all of a sudden you find yourself like quitting because you're so depressed. And guys, I've seen this happen. It sounds crazy, but I've seen this happen. I've even had clients leave me. I've had 2 clients leave me because they were so focused on those vanity metrics, because they were looking at what other people were doing. And some of the people they were looking at, I knew that like, this is how they got there. It's not as it seems. It's not as simple as it seems. And so they had to leave me because they were just so overwhelmed with the vanity metrics and trying to get these numbers and whatnot. And I'm just like, hey, this is realistic stuff that I'm telling you. So they took a break, right? Now, it's okay to take a break because of that. So every once in a while, what I'll find, especially in my business, it's really hard for me because I do content marketing. I have to keep my eyes on social media and YouTube and podcasting and all that stuff on a consistent basis in order to do R&D for my clients and for myself. And so it can be a very big challenge for just Josh Culler, for just me to keep up with this kind of stuff and not look at another channel and say, man, I wish I could get my clients that many subscribers that fast. But then at the end of the day, I don't know how that person got to that number. I don't know the strategies, if they paid money for it and that kind of thing. There's a lot of things that go behind the scenes with this. So I have to every once in a while shut off my phone, unplug Facebook, unplug Instagram, unplug YouTube, and just settle in, focus on, the delivery, focus on what our operations are, and then jump back into it when I'm ready, when I feel like I'm good enough mindset-wise to not get sucked into those vanity metrics. So that's definitely something you want to definitely keep an eye on, because as you get into it, it can be very, very easy to see your subscriber number barely going up, follower number barely going up. Maybe it goes down and then it goes up and then goes down, and then your engagement goes down, and then you decide to quit or you get discouraged because it's not working. You definitely don't want to get sucked into that. Take a break, then jump back on the wagon, regather yourself, and stay consistent with what you're doing. That's the most important thing. So the overall consensus, yes, it is absolutely okay to take a break from creating content for social media, for YouTube, for podcasting, as long as it's purposeful. Make sure it's not just because you're getting lazy. It's not just because you're like just fed up with it or it doesn't work. Guys, it does work. So if you're gonna take a break, make sure it's purposeful. Jump back in as soon as you can, gather your thoughts, and get moving with it. So that's what I got for you guys today. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of inspiration, some direction. I know that a lot of people talk about this and nobody ever really is upfront and blunt about it. And I'm just giving you these perspectives from an actual content creator. My team puts out over 3,000, almost 4,000 pieces of content a week on some basis. And so we can get sucked into these numbers and all these things that I talked about on a very, very easy level. So I wanted to bring this to you, but if you guys got value out of this, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more content marketing, social media, video content type stuff that's coming out in videos. And also make sure if you haven't already, check down in the description below for all the links on connecting with me. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. See you later.